All right. Hi, everyone. So good to be here today. It's good to see a full room. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Hazel, and I lead Programmatic Solutions at Google Vietnam. And I have Tomasz with me here.
Hello, guys. Great to be here and great honor.
All right. And it's amazing to be back once again here in Vietnam, first time in MMA. And we know, Tomasz, we're not forgetting that a lot has happened in the last 3 years. Right? The pandemic has changed the world, and Vietnam continues to face the global uncertainty. So today, Tomasz and I have the honor to talk about how agencies can help brands drive efficiency and effectiveness in their digital strategy, even in these times of uncertainty. Now, we heard a lot about economic instability today, impact to global supply, and Christy also talked about rising cost of living. Just when we thought the worst of the pandemic is behind us, the road ahead for marketing seems rocky. And Vietnam continues to actually see and be influenced by what is happening around the world. We see visible increases in prices paid by consumers for a basket of goods and services. This right here is from Consumer Price Index in Vietnam. We've seen prices increase quarter after quarter, and there are also worries about household income and job security. Inflation is definitely a key concern, and this actually trickles down to consumer and business confidence in market. And with all of this that is happening, what marketers might be thinking is to hunker down, and brands are undeniably thinking about pulling back. But the riskiest thing that we can do right now is to actually cut back or make no move at all. According to McKinsey, businesses who selectively focus and invest wisely during a downturn are the ones best positioned to flourish in the long run. So instead of hunkering down, I want to actually challenge everyone here to prepare for these moments by asking yourselves, how can we spend smarter, that is more efficiently, and implement strategies that actually drive effectiveness in the long run? In the wise words of Mark Prickard from P&G, what matters in this case is to drive optimum efficiency and high ad effectiveness to deliver sustained growth. And often as architects behind advertisers' key advertising strategies, agencies actually serve as the catalyst for advertisers' digital strategy, especially in times of uncertainty, and are often relied upon to enable digital marketing acceleration for advertisers. So let's talk about the two main areas where agencies can step in to drive business value. One, by capturing the short-term opportunities of efficiency with a full funnel unified approach. And two, by building value and effective advertising for the brand through the digital maturity transformation framework. Now let's talk first about efficiency. So with this, I'd like to hand it over to Tomasz, who can walk us through how GroupM has operationalized this through a unified buying approach.
So let's start with the fact that being agency person or people, doesn't matter fact, looking for efficiency, this is what we do on the daily basis. So this is actually not something new. But in the times of uncertainty, which is the main theme that we talking about here, it is even more challenging for us that with increasingly growing ecosystem of the media, where we have more partners, more media, more opportunities to reach the touch points relevant for our audiences, we also go and face that over there we have more challenging and fragmented channels across the whole ecosystem. Therefore, we are facing a situation that our overlaps of the audiences is a daily, basically, challenge that we generate or we are aware of the wastages, and more often we think how to reduce them. So this is one part. The second part being a person who is responsible also for operation at GroupM, thinking about the process, how to make it efficient, because this fragmentization of the ecosystem means that our processes are endangered by being slow and for sure not up to the speed when we need to make a decision where to move the budgets for the most effective solutions. So what we are doing, basically this is not something new, but what you will see in the moment actually still huge space to grow as an operation or the solutions. So by using programmatic technologies, we are able to face those challenges that I mentioned a moment ago. So we work on the cross-channel basis, cross-device basis as a commodity, and then later we can bring those efficiencies that I'm describing. How? By reaching the right audiences, because we're working on the consistent data sets. We were talking about how important data are in the previous panels, how important data are, and how important, even more important, is to have a consistent data set. And this is in programmatic relevant, important, but basically a commodity that you have if you have the right data sources. And also what those technologies allows us to do is to manage creative data sets that would not be possible to manage in an efficient way manually. So this is what we do from what it brings at the very early stage. Moreover, when we're looking for the efficiencies, then we have a clear view. Do we have a consistent frequency? Do we have a unique reach across the whole ecosystem that we operate on? And also, then it creates the space for us to have efficient processes. So very nice theory. I can dwell on this. I'm doing this for many years, so I can dwell on this for long. But we actually brought this to Vietnam already for all of the clients that are working on the programmatic solution across the whole group. So this is one of the examples that I was fortunate to be able to share with all of you. Maybe some of you know it, but this is excellent example of how you can go efficient, effective, both for the client, but also inside your own operations. So awareness campaign, you need to build top of mind across the different audiences. This is bread and butter of media people in digital and non-digital across. So again, very obvious challenges that we have to face. How to have a cumulative reach across the whole communication, how we can avoid and remove or at least minimize the overlaps, and then through this maximize the reach across the whole campaign. So by introducing programmatic solutions, by introducing right processes inside our organization, we were able not to only to decrease by 27% the cost per unique reach for the client, but also go beyond that and apparently went to 37% lower than the benchmark of the industry in the market. This is one part, and I'm very proud of the team who did that. They are great. But also, what is good for our organization and for our clients is that how they did it. They did it because we went programmatic. We unified not only execution but the internal processes, which allowed those guys to focus on the right KPIs and most of all react and allocate the budget when it was relevant at the speed and in the right moment. So that was what we did. And this, of course, efficiencies we spread across all the clients, not only this one, in the GroupM. And because of that, we were able, as one of the few markets and across APAC, to be certified partner with the programmatic solutions by Google globally, and the only one in Vietnam, as far as I know. Hazel?
Amazing results, Tomasz. And I think we're both very proud of what GroupM has done in driving efficiencies with a unified buying approach. Looking forward to obviously extend these cases together. Now, beyond optimum efficiencies, we'll talk about driving optimum efficiencies with a unified buying approach. Agencies can also bring effective advertising for the brand through the digital marketing maturity transformation framework. Now, that's a long string of words. What is the digital maturity transformation framework? In 2019, BCG and Google co-developed what we call the Digital Marketing Maturity Framework to assess where companies are at in their digital marketing maturity journey and what they can do to advance themselves. The framework was developed around 4 key areas of maturity, from nascent and progressing to multi-moment. Over 180 brands across APAC, including Vietnam, took part in a quantitative study. And in the study, what they actually found was that brands who were moving towards the higher end of the spectrum saw clear benefits. Now, this is the study done for APAC. Looking at where APAC advertisers stand in their digital maturity journey, most of the brands surveyed have made a start, but few have really reached full potential. Only 2% of the APAC brands surveyed actually delivered best practice multi-moment experiences where customer journey are dynamically improved towards business outcome. The majority of the brands surveyed actually sit within the two middle maturity buckets, which is emerging and connected. Now, with emerging and connected, these brands here are actually beginning to think about data management, incorporating automation, AI, as well as automating your messaging. 6% of participants who actually take part in the study are in the lower end of maturity. Now, with this 6% in nascent, execution is simple and campaign-based, with brands mainly using external data and direct buys. Now, what about Vietnam in this case? This is APAC, right? What about Vietnam? When running the assessment tool, most Vietnam advertisers actually fell in the dark green boxes over there in nascent and emerging, which actually ranges from simple tactical campaign-based execution to brands starting to consider data management and incorporating automation and cross-channel optimization. Now you must be thinking, why are we talking about this study right here? There is actually clear benefits in achieving digital marketing maturity. Brands reported clear gains in effectiveness with incremental profit and efficiency with cost savings along the path to maturity. The study found that more mature brands were able to increase sales by 18%, by an average of 18 percentage points, and also boost cost savings and cost efficiencies by an average of 13 percentage points. Twice as many digitally mature brands were able to increase market share in the previous year than low maturity brands. Now, we talk about digital maturity, but what is and how can we make it practical, actionable, and to know where to start? To help brands know where to focus their efforts and to help agencies structurize and know where to focus your efforts in driving and gaining the most return for your advertisers, we've put together a guide consisting of 5 dimensions. Now, these 5 dimensions, you might have heard it across the day-to-day. People were talking about AI, people were talking about measurement, some people were talking about DCO assets. These 5 dimensions are covering all of these. We call them the 5 A's: automation, audience, assets, attribution, and access. The 5 A's serve as a discovery tool to assess where companies are in their digital maturity journey and what they can do across each of these 5 A's to advance themselves. Now, what do each of these A's actually mean? Tomasz briefly covered about access when he talked about unified buying with a comprehensive view across various channels. Now, let's look at what maturity actually means across all the other 4 A's. Automation. So what is automation about, or AI? We heard a lot about AI today. So AI, automation, is all about simplifying operations and improving performance at scale. With machine learning technology and AI, this A essentially involves solutions that automate keywords, bids, creative assets, and targeting using a smart use of platform features and feeds in your day-to-day operations. Now, automation and AI is going to be even more important because we're moving towards and we're shifting towards a privacy-first landscape. I'll probably be the first to bring out the privacy-first landscape today. We know that there is a shift towards a privacy-first landscape, and it's already underway, and it's impacting the way we're actually seeing things today and the amount of data that we're able to get today. With automation and with AI, you'll be able to reach more users and get a more accurate picture of your media impact, even when less user data is available. Now, audience. The next A here is audience. Audience is all about identifying and engaging the right people and not just running across a broad audience targeting throughout the sales funnel. With this, what audience is all about, we need to organize all data sources in order to understand and influence the most valuable audiences throughout the sales funnel. I heard talks about CDP today with first-party data. Now, this A essentially involves solutions with a smart use of first, second, and third-party data, where audiences are segmented based on lifetime value and full funnel targeting. Assets. What is assets all about? Assets is all about delivering attention-driving intuitive experiences across digital touchpoints. Now, identifying your right audience set is one thing, but once you've found them, you still have to deliver a compelling message. So we heard about DCO today. Essentially, this is what this A is all about. This A involves dynamic creative, video ad sequencing, rich media creatives. These are what asset solutions are all about. Assets can be enriched by relevant data. We heard about the session before where we marry creative and data. And that's absolutely right. We need to analyze your advertisers' first-party data to understand intent and audience behavior and customize your ads to your users' context accordingly. Now, last but not least, attribution. Now, attribution is what everyone was talking about in terms of measurement, but attribution is a step further than measurement. It actually involves accurately measuring and valuing customer touchpoints. Now, customers are likely to engage brands across various devices, various channels, before they commit to a purchase. And this actually renders our usual last-click attribution model unfit, especially for multi-channel engagement. This A involves solutions like data-driven attribution across channels, which analyzes the full path to purchase. And using machine learning, data-driven attribution is able to assign the right credit to each level, and this makes your budgeting decisions far more accurate and meaningful. Now, we've spoken a lot about the A's. Automation, audience, assets, attribution, and access. Developing an approach across each pillar. This helps agency become a digital transformation champion, delivering enriched customer experiences and improving business performance for your advertiser. Now, the DMT, of course, is a defined framework that supports agencies in improving effectiveness, digital effectiveness, and operations for your advertisers. But we gotta admit, it's not a one-size-fits-all for advertisers. The key to finding the right mix is to continually test, learn, and skill by embracing the culture of experimentation. Understanding what works and, more importantly, what doesn't is crucial for making meaningful investment decisions to deliver both business and customer value during times of uncertainty like today. Now, but we've got to admit, the shape of digital marketing maturity will evolve over time. And of course, new technologies will continue to disrupt the market. And as much as we would like a one-size-fits-all and a one-time-off maturity framework, it is going to be a continuous effort and joint partnership together with your agency, with Google, to define what this maturity journey will look like in time to come and to effectively understand what works best and what does not work best to drive long-term growth together.
Because it's not going to happen by itself. So basically, we live, and the whole theme of our presentation is we live in the times of uncertainties and what we can do about this. So we live in the times when every dong counts. We look at it, we verify even more than we used to before, even though we should have been doing this always. But also, we need to help our clients, brands, in their business. Right now, there are real challenges, and we need to be not only media partners, but also business partners for our clients. However, not to be so gloomy, actually, this is the most exciting times ever. Christy made it very clear that the good times are coming, especially for Vietnam. So we're in a good place, and we never had at our disposal that many solutions that can bring efficiencies and effectiveness. Not to mention that then later, and this is one of the reasons why I'm here, then there are help with the frameworks that help us to bring this complexity together, and then we can choose. We can choose if we're gonna go after low-hanging fruit or easy-to-implement solution like unified bike that I described, and just go with the media efficiencies, which can actually now and here be implemented and bring the efficiency from the media.
I'm just going to end off with also bouncing off what Tomasz actually mentioned. Times of uncertainty, and I think we want to acknowledge this, right? Times of uncertainty is definitely daunting, but it is also an opportunity for us. It's the best opportunity for growth, and it's also an opportunity for us to drive effectiveness and efficiency ever more. And with this, I think that's where we want to end off and let you know we're here to support. If anyone wants to talk about it, we're always here.
And thank you for listening us. Thank you very much.